Welcome to the new series, which is about breaking out of Ace. And I'm Abir,
Hey, and I'm Harsh.
and Harsh will be playing these like battles, and I'm going to be like guiding him how to count and how to go through these battles. And I just reached like veteran for the first time in this like season, and move counting is super important. So in this case, the Hypno has 4 confusions right now, and we are counting. We go for the second Hydro Cannon. This seems to be a CMP tie, and Hypno has 5 confusions. So this could be a Shadow Ball, or it could be one of the punches. Let's see what it is. We are expecting the Shadow Ball, and it is indeed a Shadow Ball. So he is like 1 shield down. We can outpace before he reaches the next move and go for the Hydro Cannon. If he shields this, Harsh is going to save switch to the Ferrothorn. As you may have noticed, it's an ABB style team, and he stores all of that energy on the Hypno and comes in with the Scrafty. This is where he goes for the Thunder, like thinking that it does more damage, but in reality, since like Power Whip is stab, it gets the same type attack bonus. Power Whip ends up doing more damage than the Thunder for even lesser energy. As you'll see, he goes for the Power Whip, and the Thunder did 40%, but the Power Whip will do slightly more, and this KOs the Scrafty. So these are the like learning things that you need to learn to get out of Ace eventually. The counting, and the Hypno comes in, goes straight for the move. We're not shielding this. We have got 2 shields already, and we're just going to let the Hypno farm us down, and we can come in and get ahead on energy with the Venusaur. And this is where we'll end up making a crucial mistake, because we were not counting. We thought it was just a punch, but take a look, it's a Shadow Ball. So a big misplay by us, and it also shows how important it is to count. We're going to try to reach 2 frenzy plans, because if we do this, thing is gone. But as you'll see, we fall agonizingly short, just one move away. But we still have the goat, the Shadow Swamprert, and we can still reach a Hydro Cannon just as the G-Fist reaches the second move, and it's still a good game. But again, see how important like counting was. We should have remembered that the Hypno had 5 confusions from earlier, and yeah, that is a good game.
Starting the next match.
And let's see who we pick, who we are up against. We still don't have an opponent against 002 Giri 0 and Swamprert versus Swamprert. And this is where Harsh is going to do something really cool. In the Swamprert like mirror fight, everyone throws the Hydro Cannon directly, so he switches to his Ferrothorn to catch. That wastes a lot of energy from the Swamprert, and you need to like draw out the counter to the grass type. And it seems that he just does not have a counter to Ferrothorn. His entire team must be weak to Ferrothorn, because you should not bring in a Charmer against a steel type, right? And he can like get to the move before us, but he does not throw. He wants to farm us all the way down, but for that he'll have to double shield here, because Grand Bull needs 8 charms to get to a move, and he's already at a move. So in comes the Swamprert, and we're going to overfarm a bit. Luckily the move is not tapped, so it's not a CMP tie, but so we can overfarm a little bit. We can't overfarm too much because the charms are like ripping through the Shadow Swamprert, but we can easily outpace and get rid of the Grand Bull. So we have a shield advantage, we have an energy advantage, and he has switch advantage. So in comes the Swamprert. We are going to count to 3, because he needs 4 to get to his next Hydro Cannon. We are throwing this. He's exactly at the move now, but we snipe him with the Venusaur. So that's another waste of his energy, and he has Azu in the back. We have a shield, so you know how this game is going to go. And that is a good game.
With this team, we had a lot of matches where just opponent just quits.
Because the team is not the meta at the 2000 yellow is not ready for the double grass fire. And again we pick up a lead against the Swamprert, and Harsh is gonna go for the same play, because the Swamperts always like to throw the Hydro Cannons ASAP. No one wants to get behind on the shields in that matchup. And again you'll see in this matchup an entire team weak to grass, because he brings in a regular stun fist against a grass type. So you can see that he has no response to Ferrothorn, and Ferrothorn is actually a pretty good save switch in this like current ELO, because there's not a lot of like counter uses. So it's actually quite good with all the ground types and water types that you can see here in the meta. We're going to go for a Power Whip before he reaches his next move, so that he has to make the shielding decision. So he shields here, so we know that we can shield here and farm down, and that is exactly what we're going to do, so that we can maintain a good alignment with a Venusaur versus a Swamprert. But he aggressively switches in the Swamprert. Big mistake. We're still going to reach the Power Whip. In comes the Power Whip, and we're going to bring in the Venusaur. And you'll see yet again why counting is important. At this point we were not counting correctly, and it turned out to be the Sludge Wave. We thought it's just a Hydro Cannon, but we can still farm him down. But that was definitely a misplay, and that is why we should all learn how to count. And you know, in the battles it's important to keep track of the opponent's energy. He has Venusaur in the back, which is why he did not have a good response to the Ferrothorn. He wanted to save his Venusaur for the matchup against Swamprert, but sadly that's not even going to happen, because we're going to reach the 2 sludge bombs. moves. And at this moment, the opponent has just like force quit his game. He's left the game, which is why there's all the lag and the stutter. And it's a comfortable win against a team that had no response to grass types. So even in the two like good wins, you can see that there's a lot of improvement to learn, and move counting is the key skill that we're trying to get across in this video. So we're going to hop into the fourth match, and let's see what we pick up against. We pick up a lead against an Alolan Ninetales, and this is running Charm. So we're going to switch out because we have two better responses in the back, right? Plus we want to draw out the counter to the grass type so that Venusaur can sweep in the back, and in comes an Umbreon. Again, the opponent like does not have a great response to grass types. It is the bulky Umbreon that comes in. We can go for another Power Whip on the CMP type because we need 4 bullet seeds to every move, whereas the Umbreon needs 4 like right now, so it's a CMP, and like next time you'll see that he reaches on 3. So by the time we get our third bullet seed, he is at his move. But this is not going to KO us, so no point in shielding. We're going to overfarm slightly before we get taken out and go for the Power Whip. So let's see if the Umbreon shields this. He does, and at this point he just farms us down. So he is loaded with energy right now. He has 5 snarls, but again there's going to be a miscounting here, and you'll see that this is going to like cost us the game in this match. But okay, that's how we learn. So we thought that after this shield the Umbreon would need 2 more moves, but you'll see that he reaches it just 1 more. So we were not counting because this was a test of how the matches go, so I was not counting, and we throw here as well because we were scared that if Umbreon has even more energy. Again, we did not count, so we did not know the exact counts for the moves. In comes the A9, is going to throw a weather ball. We're going to reach the sludge wave, but he still has a shield, so it's not looking good. And let's see what happens if he lets it go. He does not let it go, so we bring in the Venusaur, and he's going to outpace to the weather ball before we can get the sludge bomb. We were not sure if the frenzy would kill at this point, and you'll see that we actually had a win condition, but he makes an amazing catch with the Swamprert. So Harsh had already thrown the sludge bomb, which is when the Swamprert came in, and there's not much we can do. Good game, good play to the opponent. So that was the first loss of the set. So we had 3-1. Let's see if we can make it a 4-1 set, and we're going to pick up the final match against, who is this person? It's against Gadon, I don't know, some weird name. And we pick up a lead against the Scrafty. We have to stay in because Scrafty absolutely eats Ferrothorn for breakfast. So we're going to come in and go for the Hydro Cannons, and we're going to be counting here. In this final match, we're going to keep an exact count of his moves. This is more than enough for the foul play. If I'm not wrong, he was at 7 or 8. So we shielded, and it turned out to be the foul play. And you'll see the opponent makes a huge mistake. He did not count, and again, the moral of the story is counting is so important. He shields here, but he overfarms, and we reach 1 more Hydro Cannon. And not only is this going to almost take out the Scrafty, he had a lot of loaded energy. He ends up going for a CMP tie. So he wastes so much of his energy here. So he cannot reach a foul play against the Venusaur. He could have grabbed the second shield had he not thrown that energy. So huge misplay by the opponent, not like counting correctly. And in comes a Nidoqueen. We can reach the Frenzy Plant. We are going to tank 1 Poison Fang and then switch out to a Ferrothorn because he's not even building up to the Earth Power. So there's no point in respecting this. We're going to let it go and bring in our Ferrothorn, and he has a jelly in the back. Good game.